Why would I want to hold a sheet of glass in my CNC router? That's a silly question. Why wouldn't I want to hold a sheet of glass in my CNC router? Welcome back to Cloud42, I'm James. Well, in a recent video, you saw me working with glass as a material for the first time on the channel, making some replacement screens for an optical comparator. Turns out I've got more glass shenanigans coming, and to do some of what I have in mind, I need to be able to hold a sheet of glass securely in the CNC router without breaking it. This is my Avid CNC router, and you can see that I have it equipped with a set of Saunders Machine Works fixture plates. These are about an inch thick aluminum plates with a whole grid of holes for attaching things to it. What I need to attach to it for an upcoming project is a sheet of glass so I can process it with the router. What are our options for holding something like this in the router? Well, we could use a vise. I've got a small grinding vise here, or we could bring over a milling vise, but the sheets of glass that I have in mind aren't going to fit. I do have these Saunders Machine Works mod vises that can be separated to the extreme ends of the plate so I can hold large objects, but just like a milling vise or a grinding vise, they apply force to the edges of the glass, and there's no way that's going to end well. It's going to chip, it's going to break, it's going to bow, bad things are going to happen. I do have a nice flat surface that the glass will sit on evenly, so I could use strap clamps to hold it down. Now these strap clamps are made of steel, and so they're going to focus all the clamping force on hard little points that are very likely to crack the glass and break it. I could try putting some soft pads under it, but what I'd really like to have is a set of strap clamps that are made from a softer material like plastic. And that sounds like a job for 3D printing, so let's go design something. This is Fusion 360. Let's go ahead and design ourselves a clamp. So I'll create a sketch, and I'm going to put this on the vertical plane so that we're going to sketch up the profile. So we'll just start with a rectangle. Bring this out. D for dimension. I want to make this about a 1/2 inch thick by maybe 3 inches long. Okay, that looks good. I hit L, X for construction, and I'm just going to bring in a center line. Now I'm going to want this to have a dished out cylindrical section in the top so that I can put a bearing in here so that it can slide and rock easily. So I will go ahead and just create a circle, click on this center line. I don't want that to be construction. Bring that down, and I want to know how wide the top of it is. So I will just create a couple of points that are at those intersections. D for dimension, and make that say 1.25 inches wide. Since I think my nut is like about 1.2 inches or 1.15, something like that. Now I know I don't want this to go down very deep here, so I'll go ahead and put another point there. D for dimension, and we'll bring this down, say 0.2 inches. Let's call it 0.2 inches. That'll leave me 0.3 here, so I should still have plenty of strength. Now L for line, I will grab from the center point and come up here and go ahead and mirror that across the center line here, and then put another dimension here and bring this up close to the bearing, say 0.1 inches, something like that. That'll give me some bevels on the end down to 1/2 thickness, but still leave me a little space around the bearing. And then when I model the bearing, I want a little bit of extra thickness, so let me create a rectangle. Let's use a 3-point rectangle and put a D for dimension here and say bring that up another 50 thou. Okay, that looks good. Now the other thing I want on this clamp is I want a couple of feet. So I will create a circle, put it on this line, bring it right to the edge, circle here, right to the edge, and let's put some dimensions on this. Let's say 1/4 inch there, and then this side I want this foot to be maybe 100 thousandths down further than the one on the right, because that's about how thick my glass is, and I'd like this to sit level when it's sitting on the glass. So we'll say 0.45. So that'll be 100, go 200 thou bigger on the dimension and on the diameter, and that'll put it 100 thou lower. Okay, I think that's all we need. Let's close the sketch, select all of this, E for extrude, 1.25 inches, and that gives us the basic shape of the clamp. Now we need a slot through the center of this for the bolt, and I'm using 1/2 inch hardware, so I'll right click here and say create sketch. Now P for project, because I want to project these 2 lines. Normally, since I created the sketch on this surface, it would have projected all of these lines. There would be implied lines in the sketch, but I have that turned off in the settings over here under preferences. You can actually turn that off, and I turned that off a long time ago. So I can't come in and I'll project those 2 lines. Okay, L for line, X for construction, and we'll bring a diagonal line across here, and that way we can place something on the midpoint. So I'll create a slot. I want a center point slot. Find the midpoint here, and we'll drag that out and make a slot. Want this slot to be, I don't know, 0.2 inches maybe, and since I'm putting 1/2 inch hardware, I'd like this to be maybe 0.52, give an extra 20 thou clearance so that the 1/2 inch bolt will go through it easily. So 0.26 would be half of that for the radius. That gives us our slot, finish, just hit that, E for extrude, and we'll just take that distance through all, and that will cut a slot. Great, now let's turn that body into a component. Call that component the, the clamp body, and now let's create our cylindrical bearing. So we'll turn that original sketch back on, select these 2 regions, E for extrude, distance to object, pick a point over here. Now instead of joining that together, we'll say new component, and boom, turn that sketch off. Here's our new component, and that is our cylindrical bearing. Bearing's going to need a hole in it, so we'll just click on here to create a hole, move this to the center. I want to set the diameter of that hole to 0.52 inches, and the distance just needs to go through everything. Okay, that gives us a hole in the bearing for the bolt, and then the bolt will go through this into whatever we're clamping down to, and the body of the clamp can rock back and forth underneath this cylindrical sliding surface. Okay, well, let's clean it up a little bit. F for fillet, and we'll fillet the ends here. Now you note if I click there, it brings that line all the way around, and so if I then try to put a big diameter on this, I can't, or a large radius on that, I can't, because it's now colliding with itself. If instead I uncheck tangent chain and click just the vertical line, then I can take this as far as I want. Let's say 400 thou, so I can kind of wrap that around the end, and I'll just hold Control and click all of these other vertical corners. So we'll round off the corners of the clamp. That looks good. Now I'll come back, hit F for fillet, and I'll click all of these. Although I do want the tangent chain turned on for this. And we'll just round off those bottom edges, maybe 50 thou. So this way I get a nice big radius here and a small radius here just to soften those corners. Okay, turn the bearing off here for a second. I'd like to smooth around the corners of this too. F for fillet, maybe 0.1. Okay. And that looks like that. We've got our clamp body and we've got our cylindrical bearing. Now we can just send these to the 3D printer and print them. I'm going to slice these parts using Cheaty Print because I'm going to print them on the iFast, and I'm going to print them out of a PA12 carbon fiber material. I'm using the Cheaty Tech brand. It's similar to some of the others. I found it to be a little bit more rigid than things like the Nylon X. I'm going to use the carbon fiber because it will increase the strength of the part, and this is a clamp. It'll be under quite a bit of pressure. But I want to use nylon because the surface of the nylon is slippery. So this cylindrical bearing riding in this cylindrical bore in the top of the clamp will slide easily if it's printed out of nylon. ABS would be similar, not quite as slick. PETG would definitely grab right away. PLA would grab right away, plus it would be very brittle in this application. So I think the PA12 carbon fiber is a really good choice here. Now, I am printing the parts in sort of an unusual orientation because I want to take advantage of the layer lines. I want the layer lines to run through this cylindrical surface in the direction of the motion that I want. So if I print them this way, the lines will run this direction on the cylindrical bearing and will run in that same direction on the clamp so that the layer lines won't lock together and cause it to freeze up. They should slide smoothly. But that does mean that I do need support material because I've got these large radii on the bottom and I've got these large openings, and PA12 doesn't tend to bridge very well, so I'm going to use a support material called S-Green. It's also a Cheaty Tech material. This video is not sponsored. I paid full price for the materials. The S-Green, I don't know if it's yet available on Amazon. I'm told it will be soon. I ordered it direct from Cheaty Tech in China, and like I said, paid full price for it. It's a breakaway support material, not dissolvable, so it should print at the same high temperature, 280 degrees Celsius, that I'm using for the nylon, but it should be brittle and it should break cleanly away when the print is done. So let's send this to the printer and see what we get. Now, unfortunately, there's not a lot to see in this printer. This is about the best view I can get. This is with a GoPro suction cupped to the door of the printer. Because it's fully enclosed, there is always something in the way. I can't put a camera on the top because there's not really a view from up there because the extruder's in the way. And I can't put a camera inside because the chamber temperature greatly exceeds the allowable operating temperature for a GoPro. So this is pretty much what you get to see. Let's take a look at the results. I've got the finished print here. You can see it's still nice and stuck to the flexible bed. There's a little flex. Pops it off, and you can see this is pretty clean. In terms of ooze, you can see there's a little bit here. Not too bad. If you've seen any of my previous videos trying to print multi-material prints with support, this is not bad. All things considered, this is just a little bit of ooze of the support material, and it is stuck on the ooze shield exactly as expected. That's why there's an ooze shield. Let me peel that away and pull the parts off of the raft. So you've got just a little bit of support clinging to the ends of these, and that should just pop off with a fingernail. And that just leaves the support material in the center. And that should come out easily with a pair of pliers. Stuff is very crumbly. Breaks away easily, and then the remainder should, if I can get hold of an edge of it with a fingernail, just pop out. And those are the parts. And these should fit together nice and neat. Oh, and they do, and they slide beautifully. I do love the feel of that. The nylon on nylon slides very well. It's similar to ABS. ABS starts to generate a little bit of stiction and starts to break down. PETG definitely grabs a lot more than this, and PLA definitely grabs a lot more than this. The nylon makes a pretty nice bearing material. Let's take these over to the router and give them a try. Well, I've got my piece of glass, and I got my clamps, and I've got some half 13 hardware. Let's give them a shot. Let's go ahead and run a couple of half 13 studs into a couple of holes here. Get the glass in position. I can just drop these clamps in place. And I've got my little cylindrical bearings. Drop those in and put on some nuts. Now these, let me move one of these so it's completely racked, and the nut should push it into position. And it does, nice and neat. So this is nice and free. Get this in position. I don't even need to use a wrench, I don't think. Should be able to just snug these by hand. And that works a treat. I don't hear any cracking, I don't hear any grit. I think this is going to be nice and secure. I could print a couple more for the other side, though for the kind of process that I have in mind, I don't think that is going to matter. I just need to keep it from sliding around, and those are going to work a treat. Might be nice to 3D print some sort of hand wheels that drop over these nuts. I might think about that, but other than that, that looks about right. I can see, boy, there's not much. I was expecting a little bit of flex, but with that amount of clamping, there's not much. I think these are going to work great. If you're interested in something like this for your CNC router, I have uploaded the files to both Thingiverse and Printables, links down in the video description. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Feel free to subscribe to the channel and leave me a comment. Let me know what you liked, let me know what you didn't like. Let me know how amazing I look for a 50-year-old dude standing in his shop talking to himself. I'd like to know what you think. Thank you for watching.